Alright, how's it going everyone? Merciless Vaughn here, back again with another Bleach Brave Souls video. And in this one, I just want to go over the new 1000 Year Blood War end of month banner that's going to be coming out here in a few hours. And, just talk about it to see if it's worth summoning on. So I guess this is a should you summon or skip video, I guess. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel or you have been here for a while, please consider subscribing. And also, yeah, just help me get to 250 subscribers. I am making my way there. And with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. And so, yeah, this banner will be available here in a few hours, less than 24 hours at the time of recording this video. And as you can see here, we do have a new Toshiro and Chengdu. It is only a 2-character end of month banner, though. It's been a while since we only had 2 characters for an end of month. And basically, how I determine whether a banner is worth summoning or not just usually depends on, the hype of the characters, the banner, how rare it is, and, if it's a premium or like, just a non-premium unit banner. And not to mention the characters themselves and also the other units that are also in the banner. And so as for the characters, yeah, it is a 1000 Year Blood War banner. 1000 Year Blood War banners are pretty rare in my opinion. They've just been releasing a lot more of those often since the anime has been, just been back airing. And so, and as for the 1000 Year Blood War characters that they have released in these banners, they have all been pretty good in my opinion. So in terms of hype and characters, yeah, I say that, it is worth summoning on, just because 1000 Year Blood War banners are rare. They don't come around often, and especially their rerun banners, those don't come around too often either in my opinion. And as for the characters, I'm someone that actually does like Toshiro, so he's one of my favorite characters from the Bleach series. So just for me personally, this is a banner worth summoning on. It being 1000 Year Blood War and it being one of my favorite characters from the series. That's another reason if you want to summon on this banner or not. And another reason that you may or may not want to summon this banner is just because of the character themselves. As you can see here, I kind of went over the characters and skills in detail in the last video, but to go over real quick, you can see that the Chengdu is a melee strong attack unit with all of his attacks having freeze except for his SA2. It does have a barrier on his SA2, and he does have the new soul trait, which is the status airman spiritual pressure boost plus 40%. Now he has a Quincy Sternritter speed unit with the Hollow Killer. And as for his skills right here, you can kind of take a look at them real quick. I guess we can talk about his most notable ones is the new soul trait, obviously the status airman spiritual pressure boost. He does have the gauge effect, which gives him Sprinter +2, Frenzy +1. So with him coming down here, taking a look at the rest of his heals, him has a Frenzy +2, and when he has his gauge active, he will have Frenzy +3, which makes this unit very strong. Damage to frozen enemies, Marauder and Berserker 50%, which is just also great. Not to mention he does start off any missions with 70% of his gauge already active. The Gauge Rampage skill, which helps his gauge come back faster. The increased status element chance against power attribute enemies, that will also help, proc his status element spiritual pressure boost more. When you activate his gauge, you'll recharge your strong attacks by 30%. And also, I guess we can take a look at, just how many speed Hollow Killer units there are in the game, and just pretty much how recent we have gotten the last one. So if we come here to the entire character album and just kind of sort by the speed Hollow Killer units, the last one we got was from the, I believe not the last 1000 Year Blood War banner, but the one before that. It was with the Shinjimaru, and if you didn't summon on that banner, or you just did summon and didn't pull her, you do have a chance to get another speed Hollow Killer unit here. This Shinjimaru is a pretty good unit, so yeah, if you just missed out on this unit, you do have a chance to get another speed Hollow Killer unit in your collection if you don't have one. And taking a quick look at the other character, the Toshiro, he is a melee nat unit. Basically, he's for, he's a Soul Reaper / Captain Power Captain Killer unit. he just sort of looking at his skills, you can kind of tell that this is just a melee nat unit for Captain Weekend Guild Quest. So if you're someone that pretty much, just takes Guild Quest pretty seriously and you don't have a nat unit for melee Captain Week, this is definitely a pick up for you. And yeah, he's pretty much basically made for Guild Quest, because in Guild Quest he does get Flurry +2. Outside of it, it's only Flurry +1. And as you can see here, the other Guild Quest skills that he has. Not to mention he does have the booster and enhancer skill, which is great. He is able to dodge Soul Reaper damage 50%. And he does have Marauder Sprinter +1. He also does have a normal attack damage inflicted at full stam 40% as a new soul trait, I believe it is. Yes, it is a new soul trait, and the Flurry +1 and +2 in Guild Quest is also a new skill as well. So yeah, if you're someone that doesn't really care about Guild Quests, and you do just so happen to get this Toshiro, he's definitely a pretty good unit. You can never really go wrong with, like, nag characters. We don't get too many of those. But, this one just so happens to be made for Guild Quest in particular. And if we come back here to the character album, as you can see here, as far as power, melee, captain, Guild Quest units go, pretty much non-existent, really. You do have this Kensei, but he is a SP unit. And there are other SP units that you can use for your main unit in Guild Quest. And here you do have a viable option, which is the Chad. He does have the Captain and also Server Killer. He is a nat unit with the Enhancer on and Booster for his SA2, but he doesn't have a barrier on this. And he's just mostly for brave battles, really. So if you just needed a booster unit for, just the melee Captain Weekend Guild Quest, you could use him as an option, but he's mainly brave battles. And as for the pool of characters inside the banner, we do have the 2 new units, and other than that, everything else in this banner is just pretty much bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this banner is not really that good. You have the 2 new units, which are great, but it's either you get them or you just pretty much miss out. I mean, if you don't have any of these units, then you can just level them up and get the orbs that you can get, or just leveling up a character maxed out for the first time, you do get orbs from that. But other than that, you really won't be using these characters in just the kind of content that comes out nowadays. I mean, Psychomon, you can definitely use these units if you need some units that will help you clear it, but other than that, yeah, the banner is not really good. These are some very, very old 1000-year Blood War units. And taking a look at the banner itself, 26 steps is not that bad. And now that we do have the new pity system, it's definitely worthwhile summoning more on banners now that we do get to choose a new character summons ticket at the 25th step, though that is going to cost about maybe, I want to say 5,500 orbs if my math is correct. So you're going to have to spend at least 5,500 orbs just to guarantee yourself one new unit, but that's better than how the banners were pretty much pre 8th anniversary, where we didn't have pity at all. So it is good, and if you're lucky enough, you do have a chance to get a guaranteed 5-star feature character at these steps right here: 5, 10, 15, and 20. And so yeah, is this banner worth summoning on? On a scale from like maybe 1 to 5, I'd give this banner maybe a 3.5 out of 5, and I'd say it's a just go ahead and summon. We talked about the banner itself, 1000-year Blood War units. They're cool, very great to have them. Just new characters in the game from the anime series, just being broadcasted. They're great to have. The banners themselves are rare, they don't come around often. Yeah, the characters are cool. Toshiro being my favorite character from the series, that's definitely more incentive for me to summon. Maybe if you don't like Toshiro, maybe you're not really all that inclined to summon. As for the characters themselves, they are good. This new Speed Hollow Killer unit is definitely one you do want to have if you don't have one, and overall he's just a good character to have. Toshiro mainly built for guild quests. You know, we took a look at the melee guild quest units for Captainry. They're pretty much non-existent, so if you're someone that cares for guild quests, this is definitely a must-have unit. And as for the banner itself, the banner is bad. It's just not that good. It's the two new characters where you pretty much miss. And so, yeah, the reason I gave it a 3.5 is just because, you know, the Toshiro is mainly just a guild quest unit. But, you know, if you're someone that cares for guild quests, you can pretty much just rate it higher than I did. But anyways, at the end of the day, they are your orbs. You can do whatever you want with them. Go all in on the banner or just pretty much skip it and save for anniversary. And so yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it and thank you for watching. And as usual, until next time.